Hello everyone, what's up and welcome back to Knowledge Stream. In this video, I'm gonna tell you guys about the most famous empire of India after the Mauryans, of which video I'll make later. The Guptas. You call them an empire or a dynasty, they were great, like the Mauryans. Well, without further ado, let's begin. Well, let's start off with the most famous Gupta ruler, Samudragupta. He was a really ambitious ruler. He conquered everything that he saw, like Alexander the Great, and he ruled justly and fairly, like Ashoka the Great. Well, you remember the Mahajanapadas, the great kingdoms? Well, Samudragupta carved out an entire empire by merging most of these territories, including the kingdom of Magadha and Gandhara. You know, Samudragupta actually issued 8 gold coins. 8 is a big number for things like these. I'll try and name them all: Kancha, Ashwamedha, King and Queen, Lyricist, and Warrior, and yes, I can only name 5 for the moment, but there are 8, so I'm missing out on 3 more coins. I might tell them in the next video when I actually know what they are. Well, the Ashwamedha Yagna, it was one of the most famous yagyas actually. You know that thing where the mighty king lets the horse roam the land, any land the horse wishes to roam, and conquer those territories? Yes, that Ashwamedha Yagna. Wow, this actually makes a lot of sense because there are multiple sources which tell us that he performed the yagna. And if the horse was captured, that would mean war. And if the kings let the horse roam and just carry on, and the king decides to stop, this horse is sacrificed to give them to the gods or something. Well, like, or maybe he just wanted to go down in history as a great ruler. So he did the Ashwamedha Yagna and issued the 8 coins. You see, that's all history is in the end. Us deducing stuff from the sources we have. If the people of the past decide to give us wrong information, there's a chance Samudragupta and the Gupta Empire never existed. But we kind of lucked out this time. We have multiple literature sources, travelers' accounts, military journals to tell us that yes, Samudragupta existed, the Gupta Empire existed. Well, this is off chapter. You might be wondering, like, we know so much from the written manuscripts, inscriptions, or whatever jazz. Well, what about the time before writing was discovered? Not drawing, nothing, before human race even came. Take the dinosaurs, for example. We have no written proof, we have no paintings, we have no like drawings or anything. So, how do we know these creatures existed? Yes, fossilized remains. We have bones, skeletons, and other things to know that dinosaurs existed, even though they seem like creatures from a fairy tale. Anyway, back to the topic. Are you wondering that was Samudragupta the founder of the empire that was not the greatest empire of India, but also the one the world had ever seen? Well, stay tuned because the answers will slowly begin to unfold. The first great ruler of the Guptas is said to be a Chandragupta. What? Chandragupta again? Well, they say history repeats itself. Tell me about it. Well, just remember that Chandragupta, here's a difference. Chandragupta Maurya founded the Mauryan Empire in 320. And Chandragupta the first, we call him the first, founded the Gupta Empire in 320. Wait, what? Both empires founded in the year 320? Are you a bit confused? It's okay, don't be. The first one, the Mauryan Empire, was 320 BCE. And the other one, the empire founded by Chandragupta the first, was 320 CE. To make things easier, Chandragupta the first's name is often split up and called Chandragupta. But wait, we're not done with the Chandraguptas, because there will be another Chandragupta, another Gupta. Well, Maurya Chandragupta, disciple of Chanakya, admirer of Alexander, was Chandragupta Maurya in 320 BCE. And Chandragupta the first, the founder of the Gupta Empire, founded in 320 BCE. And Chandragupta, the third and the last Chandragupta, Chandragupta the second, well, grandson of Chandragupta the first. There's not much about him. You can write that conqueror of the Vallabhi kingdom, which is Gujarat. Otherwise, Chandragupta the first is not a very famous person, but he is most famous for his son. Have you noticed me saying empire like that whenever I mention about Chandragupta the first? Well, that's because Chandragupta the first founded the Gupta Empire, but the Gupta Dynasty was already there. How do we know this? Again, written things. Well, there was a Sri Gupta, a Gadolkacha Gupta, Chandragupta the first, his son Samudragupta, his son Vikramaditya, popularly known as Chandragupta the second. Too many names, right? Let's arrange them all up. So first founder, Sri Gupta. His son, Gadolkacha Gupta. Not the other Gadolkacha from the Mahabharata, Bhima's son. This is another Gadolkacha. Gadolkacha Gupta, his son Chandragupta the first, and his son Samudragupta the first, Samudragupta only, and his son Chandragupta the second, popularly also known as Vikramaditya. Actually, the throne didn't automatically go to him. He was the youngest son. There was an elder son, I don't remember the name, but he ruled for the empire for only a little time, and then it was passed to Vikramaditya, popularly known as Chandragupta II. Well, the empires, when Sri Gupta and Gadolkacha Gupta were ruling the empire, just a second, we'll arrange them all from the very beginning. Look at these two empires of India. We have the Mauryan Empire and the Gupta Empire. Both empires arose from a period of constant warfare. Both empires arose in the same region, aka Magadha, and both founders were overshadowed by much more famous successors. Ashoka for Chandragupta Maurya and Samudragupta for Chandragupta. Well, when Sri Gupta and Gadolkacha Gupta were ruling the Magadhan kingdom, this was a kingdom, and they didn't really expand. They just kept it like that, chilling off and not expanding or doing anything. The empire started expanding to Nepal when Chandragupta the first was ruling the empire. It extended towards Nepal because Chandragupta the first was married to a princess from Licchavi, which is now Nepal. Of course, he would get their territory. And do you know what they got as a wedding gift? An entire city. Yes, the city of Patliputra was given to them as a wedding gift. Well, the person who really expanded the empire aggressively was Samudragupta. He expanded till Andhra Pradesh in the south, to Jammu Kashmir and Rajasthan in the north and northwest. And his son Vikramaditya conquered the Vallabhi kingdom of Gujarat, and he also took over the eastern coast, because that would mean trade would be like the southerners have a monopoly of trade with the Romans, because the Romans looked at pepper like gold, so they called it black gold. Not the black gold we know today, which is petroleum. The black gold, which is for the Romans, is pepper. They took over the eastern coast, but no ruler in India, other than the Mughals and the British, were able to conquer South India. Anyway, back to the topic. Leave the Mughals and the British alone. Sorry, British and Mughals. Well, so as I was saying, Samudragupta actually expanded the kingdom aggressively. Chandragupta Maurya in 320 BCE till Akbar the Great came in 1523 CE, it was Samudragupta who brought a sort of political unity to India. He actually was a great ruler other than the Ashoka, Chandragupta Maurya, and other kings which came before and after them. Well, the people. Just a second. I'll tell you from the very beginning. Okay? Are you wondering how a king can govern such a vast empire? Today it's much easier, like states. And states are divided into districts. Districts are divided into taluks, and taluks are divided into villages. But how did the king, before the state was not even a word back then. So how did the king govern a vast area from one place? That's where the Samantas come in. The Samantas are I'll try and name all of them. Samanta, Mahasamanta, Pradhana Mahasamanta, Atip Samanta, Shatru Mahasamanta, and Pratip Samanta. All of these were given a territory to govern, and if they did not fulfill the ruler's obligations, the king could seize the territory and appoint a new Samanta. Actually, the Pradhana Mahasamanta deserves more respect than the Samanta and the Mahasamanta. Extra fact, okay? Well, the people also had to follow the king's rules, and the kings in turn ruled the empire from the laws given in the Dharma Shastras. Now, what are the Dharma Shastras? Well, the Dharma Shastras is a series of books which deal with Dharma. Now, what is Dharma? Dharmas are laws, texts, and duties a person must follow. Not only a king, it can be anyone. Like from the four main castes: Brahmins, Kshatriya, Vaishya, and Shudra. Everyone needs to follow Dharma. Well, that's how it goes. The empire was ruled from many kings, but only two kings were very important: Samudragupta and Chandragupta II. Whatever goes up always comes down, isn't it? Isn't that the law of gravity? Who said science and history aren't related? Empires that reach up to great heights always decline and are confined to a small tiny region or disappear completely. The same happened with the Mauryas, the Guptas, and every other dynasty that came before and after them. Like I said, the Guptas didn't last forever. Well, this was the time when the Hun storm reached India as well. The Huns actually divided into two branches, as if one branch was not enough. One went towards Rome, and the other is coming towards India. Well, this branch of the Hunas that were projected to hit India were referred as the White Hunas by the Indians and the Hephthalites by the Chinese. Like I said, this branch of the Hunas is projected to hit India. Just as Rome is starting to crumble over there, the Southerners lost their, the most famous, like today we have clients which are very important to office people. The Chola Chera Pandya, who I'll make a video later, the decline of Rome affected them a lot. They could not stand up in their feet properly because Romans were the clients and they were the office clerks. Anyway, back to the topic. We're getting carried away, aren't I? Well, the Hunas are managed to come very near to India till present day Pakistan. But what will happen to the Indian Empire? I think they will also collapse. No, they won't, because the Guptas produced Skandagupta, a champion worthy to take on any enemy. And guess what? Skandagupta and the Guptas are actually repelling the storm. The Hunas have suffered a crushing defeat. They are retreating. But don't celebrate yet. It is not over. Look, the Hunas have not gone back. They just waited till 470 CE, till the death of Skandagupta, to invade India again in a proper manner. This time the Hunas were led by Mihira Kula, also known as the Indian Attila. The storm was able to break down the Gupta defenses and make inroads now. Parts of north and northwestern India have come under Mihira Kula's control. But things seem to be stabilizing after all. The Guptas actually managed to repel them. Well, so the weather prediction is clear skies for the time being. Have a good day, folks. Yep, these Guptas were no joke. They achieved something that other big empires could not. Hold off the Huns. Well, as the Gupta rule weakened due to the repeated invasion of the Huns, Samanthas and even the loyal ones tried to try their luck to throw off the king's obligations and start their own independent rule. The Gupta Empire, under all this pressure, ultimately crumbled, with its last and identified ruler being Vishnugupta. Oh yeah, more fun with names. Now I know what you're thinking. There was a guy named Chanakya who used to be an advisor to Chandragupta Maurya. His real name was also Vishnugupta. Just remember that this Vishnugupta is different from this Vishnugupta. A BCE will not be the same as CE. They were separated by around 800 years or so. Well, the next video I'm gonna make is of the Harshavardhanas, the Vardhana dynasty. I might make other videos after that, before making the Vardhana dynasty one. Well, that's the thing we have to discuss next time. So, well, peace. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Share this video with your friends. Bye.